Welcome back to Australian Games. Today in this video I am going to be going over and teaching you how to edit and record Minecraft videos for completely free. In this video I will cover how to edit them in a program you may know as DaVinci Resolve. This is completely free, and if you follow the tutorial you will be able to get the most highest quality videos possible for no extra cost. So let's just get into the video. So here we are on a fresh Google page. What you're going to want to do is type DaVinci Resolve, hit enter, and click on the one by Blackmagic Design. Now this is a video editor that I used to use a lot before I upgraded to Premiere Pro. So so I'll walk you through how to edit a video using this. So what you want to do, hit free download. Make sure you don't press this. You'll see a few prompts. You're gonna want to go with this one here and not this one unless you want to pay money. It's a lot more expensive and a lot more complicated, especially if you're just starting out. So once that's downloaded, you should see a prompt. Just open it up, extract the file. And so once you got the file exported and you've gone through all the installation prompts, you should have one more you should have this program left. So what you're going to want to do is open up the program. Here we are inside of DaVinci Resolve. So what you're going to want to start to do is hit new project, call it whatever you want. For this video I will call it tutorial, and I'll hit create. So here is the editing software. It looks a lot more complicated than you might think. A lot of these features you will not use, and some of them you can learn to use over time. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously insert your footage. So you want to go to import media, and find a clip. For me, I will select, we'll go with this clip. I think it's one of the clips I've used in a bridge game. The selected clips have a different frame rate to the project. Yes, you want to make sure you change to the project's frame rate every single time. If you have different clips with different frame rates, I don't recommend that. I recommend when you're recording, you stick to the same frame rate every time. So what you're going to do now is hit change, of course, and here we have a clip. So once you have your media imported, what you're going to want to do is head down to the edit tab. This is important because you'll be able to see your audio layered with your clip. So all you got to do, drag it down to the timeline, and here we go. If any of you have used Premiere before, you can see that the video layer is very similar, as well as the tools are increasingly similar as well. Now when you're first starting out, all these tools may seem very daunting, as it did to me when I first began editing. The most important one you'll be focusing on to start with is the razor or blade tool. So this tool allows you to cut the footage up into parts, obviously edit out boring parts, edit out parts you don't want in the video, and add a place for effects or memes or whatever you're hoping to put into the video. So for example, I can remove that and the footage will automatically sync up. Of course, you've got cross dissolves which you can add. These are very important for making transitions smooth like that, but for example that one is a little bit too long. So obviously you can change it. You'd be by deleting it, number one, and then starting the transition again by going for a 14 frame, for example, which is a lot quicker, as you can see. So after you've played around with different default transitions, you can obviously open up a more advanced transition library by going up to the top left and clicking on effects. Once you're in effects, you can see a whole bunch of stuff. You can see a lot of common things YouTubers do. For example, there is, if I just find it, for example, like that. The square obviously changing, you can change all of that. That's also a very common effect. But usually when you first start out, you're not focusing on making your videos absolutely perfect because you're still learning the basics. So as I'll just recap, importing footage and using the razor tool is usually all you'll do when you're first starting out. Of course, you can add music, which I'll show you now. So the first thing you're going to want to do, go down here, see if you can find the middle between this open space and the audio track, right click and add a track. Make sure you add a mono track and it will add a second audio track. Now this is how you import music. So what you're going to want to do, head up to File, go Import Media, and find yourself an audio clip. Now for me, it might take a while, I have not seen, here we go, this will do. We have a audio clip uploaded. Now go back to your media pool, find the audio and drag it down to the second timeline. Now obviously you can hear that very loud, so head back to your selection tool, make sure you're not using the razor tool, right click, go to normalize audio levels, and this is the gain. This is how you can change the volume to make it quiet or louder. Now, as you can see, that song isn't the best of quality of music, but you can kind of see where I'm going. That's how you get the music to sync up. If you want to cut the music up, only have music in parts, grab the razor tool again, come down and go ahead and slice it up. Now go back to the selection tool, you can delete this center part, and if you listen to the music, it will suddenly cut, and that doesn't sound too good. So if you go in between the clips, right click, at a 14 frame crossfade, you should hear it sounds a little better. As you can see, the audio was a lot smoother and it was a clean cut. Now, another very important aspect of video editing is the ability to speed up and slow down footage. So what you're going to want to do for this is make sure that you have your footage cut up as we've gone over previously. Hit on the selected clip that you would like to slow down or speed up. Hit right click and locate change clip speed. Now here you can change obviously the frames per second to make it smoother or not, depending on what you're after, so probably don't play around with that too much. Next, for speed, you're going to want to change it to, for example, I'll go 50 to change it to half the speed. So if we play it, you can obviously see the footage is in half speed. Now, a lot of video editing is actually your imagination and creativity and timing. So for example, if I had you look for the beat drop in the music and you match it up to when something epic happens in a clip or a video, usually that's what most content creators do. Now, if you'd like to do the opposite, obviously do the same thing, but speed it up to, we'll go 200. And we'll play that, and it will obviously play a lot faster. Now for the last part, I will go over adding text to screens and adding sound effects. So as you might pick up on, sound effects are easiest as just adding another mono track and uploading sound effects to your video, and obviously moving them to places you think is the best. I'll have an example of me editing a 10 to 15 second clip where I implement all the elements I teach you here today, so you can follow along to that if you work that way and that's easier for you. So the next thing I'm going to be teaching you is obviously adding text to screen. Okay, so for adding adding text to your screen, what you're going to want to do is go back up to the top left, click on effects, go to toolbox, and find titles. This is where you will find all your different types of text that you would like to use, and obviously it can all change. If you hover over them, you can see the examples. For example, I'll use call out. So what you'll want to do is make sure you place it on an above video track and not on the same video track, or it will cut into the video. If you have it above, the text will display above the actual the text will display above the video rather than in the video, if that makes sense. So, for editing the text, what you're going to want to do is head over to the inspector and click that, or just double click the text and it shall bring up obviously a screen showing you how a bunch of things work. So what you're going to want to do is here you can type the custom text. For example, it says sample, but I'll write example. That rhymes, I'm cool. Next, you can obviously find a font you like or upload your own. If you guys are interested in learning how to do that, let me know in the comments down below and I will do an advanced tutorial on this software. So for example, I'll use Cambria. I can upload the size, I can change the size up. I can obviously change where it is on the screen. Now this is very important. If you want it directly in the middle, make sure it's at 0, 0. This is how you change that. A lot of this stuff doesn't really matter. Tracking is how far the text is. You can play around with this to get the actual best looking text that you can get for what you need. So after you master text, you're pretty much on the way to knowing all the aspects there is to know about editing and obviously starting off editing. Adding multiple clips is as simple as importing another clip and attaching it to the end and adding a transition if you want, but that is not required. Now I will be showing a time lapse starting very soon of me starting from scratch, from opening the program to editing a 30 to 60 second clip or however long I find a clip to edit for, and then I'll play that final clip for you in the end to prove once and for all you do not need expensive software to edit good videos. So let's get into it. So once you've finished editing the clip, the final stage is the rendering process. So you'll start off, after you finish all your editing, what you want to do is you want to come down here to deliver and click once on that. Now, this will be set to something like AVI, or if you're on a MacBook it will be QuickTime, or it might be QuickTime anyway. What you're going to want to do is you want to change that to MP4. That's usually the most universally accepted file format and one of the best. You also want to make sure this is on H.264. H.265 does work, but H.264 is usually better. This should all be the same, no need to touch that, and then all you're going to want to do is come down and press add to render queue. After you've done that, all you got to do, press render 1, and it will begin to render and export to your chosen file type. That's all there is to it. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, make sure you smash thumbs up, give us a sub, and watch some of our other videos. If you would like a part 2 on this, just let me know in the description and I will go over some more advanced editing techniques such as advanced layering, adding clips, adding multiple perspectives, kind of like you've seen me do in my videos. And I will implement that into DaVinci Resolve to try and make it as easy as possible. But yeah, that pretty much does the video, so we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.